July 2nd, 2019. Discord goes down. Shopify stops loading. For 27 minutes, half the internet throws a 502. The cause? A single line of code. Cloudflare sits between users and the websites they visit. A huge portion of the internet's traffic passes through their network before reaching its destination. Their web application firewall inspects that traffic, checks if it looks malicious, and lets it through. That firewall runs regex patterns to do the checking. A regex is a tiny instruction you give a computer. Find every email in a document. They usually take microseconds. But some patterns have a problem called backtracking. When a regex engine hits a dead end, it rewinds and tries a different path. 3 characters deep, 8 possible paths, 20 characters, over 1 million. The CPU gets stuck trying all of them. And while it's doing that, nothing else can run. That's called catastrophic backtracking. At 1342 UTC, a new firewall rule goes live. It's meant to catch cross-site scripting attacks. The rule contains a regex with nested wildcards, the exact kind that triggers runaway backtracking. Cloudflare has a system called Quicksilver that propagates changes across their network, 350 updates per second. On this day, it pushes the bad rule to every server worldwide in seconds. Normal software releases went through a staging pipeline. WAF rules didn't, they went straight to production. Within seconds, CPS across Cloudflare's edge network spiked to 100%. The regex engine is stuck in a backtracking loop on incoming requests. The absurd part? The rule was in simulate mode. It wasn't blocking anything, it was just checking. The spike came from the checking alone. Sites start dropping, millions of them. 502 errors, 503 errors, connection timeouts, and then the team tries to fix it. The dashboard, their own admin panel, runs through Cloudflare's network. So it's down too. Their internal auth system, access, also down. Some engineers' credentials had expired, so even backup paths into their systems were locked. They're fighting to get into their own infrastructure. 3 minutes in, PagerDuty fires the first alert. At 14:07, someone manages to execute a global WAF kill switch. 2 minutes later, traffic starts recovering. Cloudflare doesn't just fix the rule. They audit all 3,800 existing WAF rules, manually checking for backtracking vulnerabilities. Then they decide the problem is structural. The engine they'd been using, PCRE, allows backtracking by design, so they rip it out, replace it with a new engine built in Rust, mathematically guaranteed to run in linear time. No matter how badly someone writes a pattern, it will never backtrack. They also change the deployment process. WAF updates now go through canary testing before they touch production. Cloudflare published the full Post-Mortem 10 days later. Their CTO walked through the exact regex pattern, showed why it backtracked, and documented the decisions made during the outage. Down to the timestamps, down to the exact line of code, they identified 11 separate things that went wrong, and they opened with 5 words, quote, "We are ashamed it happened, 1 regex, 27 minutes, and the entire internet learned what catastrophic backtracking means.